Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Today, we are finally getting to the new Sleep Token song, Vore. Quite the interesting title, and quite the appropriate title for Sleep Token. We'll dive into all that later, of course. This is a little later than I wanted it to be. I would have hoped to film yesterday, but ended up going on a hike with some friends, and I got back a little too late to be able to knock this out yesterday. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is, you know? So we are finally getting to it. Super exciting. I have some pretty high hopes for this because I've seen some comparisons to Gods, and I've also seen a comparison to some of Loathe's heavier stuff. Specifically, I saw someone make a reference to "Heavy is the head that falls with the weight of 1,000 thoughts." I think I have that title right. And I'm not sure how accurate that's gonna be, but if that's the case, I'm gonna be very happy because I love Gods, and I love all of this stuff, but I mean, that song specifically, oh, it's amazing. So, like, if there's any truth to that, I'm gonna be very happy. So, I'm very excited to check this one out, so without further ado, let's hop into it. So, sort of like a droning guitar, I think that is. I think I saw someone say that was. Yeah, that's Loathe vibes, for sure. It's insane vocals. Yeah, very, very heavy Loathe vibes here. I'll fully agree with that comparison. Man. Some great drumming as well. Oh, that was nasty at the end of that. Some low whispering, almost. Great riff right there. Oh, those vocals right there. Oh. Oh, that is nice right there. A slight vocal layering there. Oh. Oh, some highs there. Nice. Back to the harsh vocals. Oh. Now my hair's fighting back against me today. Slower section, nice. A really interesting sound with whatever instrument that is there. Yeah, really interesting sound there. Just, spewing up some stuff. That's the word to use. Back into the chorus? But the instrumentation right before this kicked back in reminded me, strangely, of Endless by, Loathe, one of the projects by Noise of Cannonen Fever. Oh, disgusting effect right there. That's really cool. Oh. Oh, that's some interesting guitar there. Oh, this is so cool. Awesome. I don't even know what word to use for those vocals, but oh, they are very much whatever word it would be. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Chorus, a little weaker than some of the other stuff we've had off the album so far. But man, I hope we get a little more of that on the album. You know, I hope we get some more harsh vocals and some more real heaviness on here, because oh, that'll make me very happy. Of course, I hope we have the great atmosphere, and the emotions will need a lot more of that, but what we got with this, oh, I mean, we got a hint of this on the summoning, and now we're getting all of it. Oh, that made me very happy, very happy. Now, lyrical analysis time. I said at the beginning, somewhat jokingly, that this was a very appropriate song name for Sleep Token, but yes, it sure is. If y'all haven't noticed by now, Vessel apparently has a thing for mouths. Just take a look back at some of the older lyrics, and it comes up a lot, and this is honestly a fairly logical extension of that. So not something I would have expected them to call a song, but not something I'm necessarily surprised by either. And for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to go into the specifics, of course, but essentially, Vore is, you got a thing for being consumed, shall we say. We'll phrase it that way to not go too far with it. But yeah, very, very appropriate for Sleep Token. But diving into the specific lines right off the bat, you have become the voice in my head, only recourse were left after death. This, to me, very much feels like a tying back into Sleep. This is one of the few songs they've had where I very much see the connections there to that lore they have. This idea that Sleep is present within Vessel's head, speaking to them, and once Vessel is gone, Sleep is all they're going to have left, in a sense, right? And then, in this section that someone ended up annotating, my life is torn, my bones they bleed, my metaphors fall short in the end, your flesh and bone welcome me in, welcome me in. And there's two things I want to point out there. Why is that so hard to say? My metaphors fall short in the end. There's two things I get there. One, a very lore-specific connection. The name Sleep, of course, is not this deity's actual name. It's the closest approximation in any human language. And that line there makes me think of that from the old interview they did. That idea that, you know, what this message they're trying to convey cannot truly... There's no way to properly and accurately explain and portray all of this. So the metaphors, they do fall short in the end, no matter how close they may end up coming. And then the other thing there is that this music we get from Sleep Token is very personal. There's no question about that. And what I'm getting from there, looking at through that aspect, is this idea that, these stories that Vessel is sharing, these experiences and these emotions, are something that no matter how they phrase this stuff, no one's really going to understand it because it's so personal to them. And so that's the other idea I get there. And then the other thing, your flesh and bone welcome me in, tying back into everything else. I'm getting this idea that we can look at this both at the lens of looking at sleep, and then looking at, whoever this person that the music seems to be sort of centered around. And either way, it's throughout the struggles and the failures and the shortcomings in Vessel's life, either Sleep or this person is there for them and kind of welcomed them in and gave them, I suppose, an escape from all of this, right? Then we have the line, "Are you in pain like I am?" Much like we did in the reaction to the recent Slipknot track. We're going to be putting that on hold for a second. We'll get back to that later. The pre-chorus, "Will we remain stuck in the throat of gods? Will the pain stop if we go deeper?" Obviously, "Will we remain stuck in the throat of gods?" A direct tie to the song title. I'm trying to skirt around saying it because there is no way to actually say it without it sounding incredibly sus. So, yeah, but this idea that they're stuck where they are, stuck in the throat of God, stuck in this this sort of existence, in a sense, this place of the gods, I suppose, perhaps doing their bidding. And are we stuck here? Is there anything more beyond this? Is there a way to get back out of this? The question, will the pain stop if we go deeper? If they fully submit themselves, if they allow themselves to be consumed, will it end? Will they not have to deal with this anymore? Then the chorus, "So let's get swallowed whole. I want to go where nobody else will ever go." Just that idea of just go ahead and consume me. Go ahead. I give myself up, I suppose. Just this, go ahead and do it. There is nothing else holding me back. There is nothing else sort of for me. So go ahead and get this over with. Something along those lines. And then in verse 2, "Walls of flesh so warm again. It's a throat." I don't know what more I need to say there. That's a throat. Yeah. And then we step into my suffering. Just tying back into this, that like this is, it's painful, it's suffering, but they're stepping into it, in a sense they're sort of choosing to go into this. And then, "There is always something in the way. I want to have you to myself for once. Follow me between the jaws of fate so I can have you to myself for once." Just this really is very much a tie into the person that Vessel sings about, the person the songs are focused around, where there's always something preventing them from being together, something causing issues. So they need to just, both the Vessel and this person need to just submit themselves so they can truly be joined together. Ties into, "So let's get swallowed whole, and will we remain stuck in the throat of gods? Will the pain stop if we go deeper?" This idea, again, they very much are connected. It ties back into the line in Chokehold. I literally just thought of this connection, so I'm having to find it real quick. "When we were made, it..." Why did you jump down and cover that right as I'm reading it? "When we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood." They were brought together, tangled together, intertwined together. We see that here. They are joined together in this this existence, I suppose. And then the line, "Are you in pain like I am?" that repeats itself several times throughout the track. Are we the same? Are you like me? Are we sort of the same kind? Are we sharing these experiences? And for me, it's very much this question of, do you understand me? Do you know what I'm going through because you've gone through it yourself? And again, I think that ties back into sort of the idea we've seen of this idea of they really don't want to be together, really don't want to be sort of connected. And if are you in pain like I am? Do you fully understand me? Because in a sense, that's the only way that they can be together, right? So, a somewhat sus title, but some incredibly strong lyricism, and honestly doing some really good stuff with the theme of Vore. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I mean, this is one of those songs where it could very easily just sometimes be like, oh, this is kind of just, yeah, or oh, it's edgy or whatever, or it wasn't in well. No, this was yeah, I don't know what word to use, but this was, you know what I mean? Just masterfully done. So, yeah, fantastic. I still think my favorite lyricism so far is either Granite or Aqua Regia. I go back and forth on those. I think Aqua Regia is a bit more on the sort of poetic side of things, but I think Granite has some lines that I like a little more, you know what I mean? But this one, definitely up there. There's some really good stuff in this one, which very pleasantly surprised by that. I mean, Sleep Token lyrics tend to be really good, but I mean, for a song titled Vore, you don't necessarily go into that with the highest of expectations. But I don't have anything more to dive into on the lyrics with this, so let's talk about the music itself. And man, you know, I was saying, like, at the beginning, I'm not sure how accurate those comparisons to gods are going to be. I'm not sure how accurate those comparisons to Loathe are going to be, especially heavy as a head that falls to the weight of 1,000 thoughts. Wasn't quite on that level, but, like, it lived up to that. And I was very worried that it was going to be something like, oh, this is so crazy, and they're exaggerating a little bit. Not even intentionally, but it's like, oh, it's like this, and it's not like that. It's like that, at least for me. I got some very heavy Loathe vibes, which I talked about, which is great. I was actually listening to, I edited in, and it took everything last night. I got about halfway through it before my family decided to be cringe and made me turn it off. So that was nice. Hopefully I'll get a chance to listen to it again soon. But I was listening to that, so that's a very fresh on my mind. I could definitely see the comparisons, and yeah, that was fantastic. So to dive into the individual elements, starting off with the vocals, harsh vocals. Oh, we've had some hints of them over the years with Sleep Token stuff. Of course, we had gods going all out with them, but we've had the Offering has a scream at the end, Higher that goes crazy at the end. Hypnosis, of course, has the one at the end as well. I believe it's High Water that brings some in as well. And I want to say there's one other on This Is Come Your Tune that brings some in. I'm drawing a blank. And then off of the new one, we had the Summoning, of course, went crazy with that stuff. And I feel like there's been some songs, I'm drawing some blanks on ones, but I feel like there's been some songs you've always had, like, sort of the just slightly kicking in, right? Like that, I don't know the name of the technique, but it's like, it's not quite harsh strokes, but seeing what you get a hint of that, severeness, of that harshness coming into it. I'd attempt to do it, but I would not do a good job of it, so hopefully I'll know what I'm talking about with that. I feel like we've had that in a Sleep Token song in the past. I'm unfortunately drawing a blank on what one. But this one, best we've had yet. I mean, Gods, I really like that song, but those were some somewhat amateur harsh vocals, right? They weren't bad by any means, certainly better than I could do, but like those are very much like, it wasn't they didn't really know what they were doing yet, I suppose it feels like. Here, they've got it figured out, and, phenomenal. There's, this was, like, really some higher, vocals, which was really nice to hear. I tend to prefer, sort of mid to low range harsh vocals, just personal taste, really. But man, when the highs, like, work well, oh, they are unrivaled. And these, weren't quite to the height of it, but, like, they were pretty dang good. And then, of course, we have some clean vocals as well, which were amazing. Not as, so what they were doing I didn't like quite as much as some of the other songs we've had so far. But, I mean, they were Vessel's vocals, but still weird to say that. So they were phenomenal, for sure. So yeah, great vocals in this. Very much, sadly not a surprise, because I had this somewhat spoiled for me. But I was not expecting the quality of this, I should say. So yeah, that was amazing. And then we have the guitar in here. That was great. That was great. Some real heaviness to it. Great riffs. Honestly, some of my favorite riffs we've heard from Sleep Token in here. So that was amazing. Would have liked to have a bit more chunk to it, but oh, it was nice. Bass, sadly, didn't stand out quite as much as I would like to, but, I heard it come forth a few times, could kind of feel it. Bass was solid in this one, really worked well with the guitar. Again, not quite as apparent as I would like it to be, but it was good in here, and the drums were phenomenal. Still my favorite drumming on this is an Aqua Regia. That was some great sort of jazzy drumming, but in here, oh, it was good. A good return to the just kind of wild, all over the place, really sort of almost artistic, in a sense, drumming that I've come to love from Sleep Token. We had a great return to that in this one. Oh, love to hear it. And then we had some slight keyboards and stuff in there, some slight sort of just atmospheric sound and everything. All that stuff is so much fun. One of the things I really love about Sleep Token is they bring in just sort of moments and soundscapes and stuff, and it's not just like, oh, guitar and drums and bass and vocals and the basic stuff. It's all of these different little things thrown in that you wouldn't necessarily expect, and you wouldn't necessarily expect to work within metal, but like they just kind of do whatever they want, and so they're able to make it work. And it wasn't as extreme in this track as it's been in some of their others, but we had some little hints of that stuff, and again, you love to hear it. It was great in here. Really, what I talk about a lot, that little bit of spice on top of everything else. So that was fantastic. So, all in all, I do think this is probably one of the weaker ones we've had. I don't know exactly where it would fall in the ranking, but I do think it's one of the weaker ones we've had so far. But man, like, I say it's one of the weaker ones, but the stuff of this album has been so good. Like, this is legitimately probably some of the best stuff we've had from Sleep Token so far. And I say that even though I absolutely love everything they've done. I mean, this stuff is on another level. So just absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, if this stuff is representative of the entirety of the album, it's gonna be amazing. And I can't wait for whatever's next, probably in a couple weeks or so, going off of the most likely theory I've been seeing. And of course, whenever something new comes out, I will be reacting to it. So, I'll be able to share my thoughts on the rest of that stuff as well. But, yeah, phenomenal song. Not as much of a surprise as I would have liked it to be, because I wasn't going to this completely blind, unfortunately. But, man, oh boy, that was a level of quality far above what I would have expected from this. Which is certainly saying something, given that it is Sleep Token, who are always amazing. But I don't really have anything more to say on the song, so y'all know the drill. It is time to select the next reaction. Lots of things I would love to check out. Honestly, this one really gave me an itching for some more heaviness. I know we've been checking out a lot of heavy stuff lately, but This one, oh, I want to check out more real heavy stuff, so hopefully we get something that's like that. Of course, I won't complain about the pop stuff, but that's what I like right now. So let's give it a spin and see what we get. I feel like this thing takes longer every dang time. DC? Yes, DC, that is, Dreamcatcher's recent track Reason, so not heavy, but, it should be pretty good. I mean, it's Dreamcatcher. At this point, they very much are my favorite K-pop group. They've got some amazing stuff. This new track, I would have loved to get to it a bit quicker, because, I mean, K-pop, it very much is, like, it's important to get to that stuff pretty quickly, but, like, it is what it is. So I'm glad to be getting to this one. I don't know what sound is going to be, if it's more electronic focused, if it's more on the rock or metal side for their stuff, if it's more just a straightforward pop song. You don't really know what to expect, but it's got to be some very high quality regardless. So it should be very fun to check out. But that is all I have to say on the song. All I have to say on the next video, so that is going to do it for the reaction. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your thoughts on the track, and feedback or criticism or anything you want me to react to. In the description, there'll be a link to the song so you can check it out, support the artist, a link to my Sleep Token playlist, and my rock and metal reactions playlist so you can check out some similar content from me. There will also be links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.